Here's what's coming up on Network Africa today. ECOWAS to negotiate with Niger Junta on return to democracy. Egyptians head to polls on second day of presidential vote. Plus, outrageous third nationwide power blackout in 4 months hits Kenya, disrupting services. Hello and welcome to the first edition of Network Africa for this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Let's start with West Africa's regional bloc ECOWAS, which has set up a committee of 3 leaders to negotiate with Niger's military junta on a transition to democratic rule. The communique released after its annual summit says the bloc will consider easing sanctions in the event of a favorable response. Leaders of the Sunday summit held in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, were chosen from Togo, Sierra Leone and Benin Republic to engage the Niger junta to agree on a short transition roadmap and work towards the speedy restoration of constitutional order. Niger became the latest ECOWAS member to undergo a coup in July when soldiers from the Presidential Guard detained President Mohamed Bazoum and set up what they called a transitional government, one of a series of government overthrows in the West African Sahel region.
I would like to reiterate the imperative of the regions to continue to re-engage under the military rule and basis of realistic and short transition plan that can deliver democracy and good governance. No alternative. On our part, we should be prepared to provide them with technical and material support to ensure the achievement of these strategic goals. It is important that we also review some development in our sub-region, including the move by some of our members under military rule to float an alliance of Sahel states. The Phantom Pushback Alliance appears intended to divert our attention from our mutual belief for democracy and good governance that will impact the life of our people.
Based on the outcomes of the engagement by the Committee of Heads of State with the CNSP, the authority will progressively ease the sanctions imposed on Niger. Failure by the CNSP to comply with the outcomes of the engagement with the committee, ECOWAS shall maintain all sanctions, including the use of force, and will request African Union and all other partners to enforce the targeted sanctions on members of the CNSP and their associates.
Egyptians are voting in the second day of a 3-day presidential election process where Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is expected to sweep to a third 6-year term amid a grinding economic crisis and war on Egypt's border with Gaza. Some Egyptians have shown little interest or knowledge about this election, though authorities and commentators on tightly controlled local media have been asking them to vote out of national duty. Critics are seeing this election as a sham after the decade-long crackdown on dissent. The government's media body has called it a step towards political pluralism. But Egypt's fast-growing population of 104 million is struggling with increased price and other economic pressures, though headline inflation has dipped slightly from record levels reaching 34.6% on Sunday. And some voters are already complaining that the state has prioritized costly mega projects while taking on more debts, though others are expressing admiration for the vast network of roads and bridges built in recent years and a new capital city under construction in the desert. Voting runs from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. and it concludes on Tuesday with results due to be announced on December the 18th. From there, we head over to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where another election is about to hold. With less than 2 weeks to go, incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi, who is running for re-election, was on a campaign trail at the weekend in Goma. But thousands of residents of the North Kivu province attended that meeting despite the rain. Felix Tshisekedi's meeting was under heavy security due to M23 rebel activities in large sections of the North Kivu province. The president promised that he voted in to rid the country of M23 rebels, who he accuses Rwanda's leader Paul Kagame of bringing in. Kenyans are demanding answers after the nationwide power blackout plunged the country into darkness. This is the country's third countrywide blackout in the past 4 months. Just last Sunday, late on Sunday, it hit several institutions, including the main airport in the capital, Nairobi, where 2 terminals were without power for several hours. Many Kenyans have criticized the government as anger and frustration grow over recurring disruptions. By Monday morning, power had been restored to most parts of the country, except for some parts of Nairobi and the coast region. Kenya Power, the state-run power provider, says it is working round the clock to restore normalcy to other areas in the country. We're now being joined by VOA's Nairobi Bureau Chief, Mariama Diallo. Thank you very much, Mariama. She's speaking to us from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you, Anne. I'm happy to be here today, joining you.
Oh, well. All right. We're also happy because it's a good thing the power has now been restored to some places where power had not been before. What is the situation like at the moment, especially where you are?
Well, yeah, I shouldn't be telling you that I'm happy, but I'm just happy to see you, not because of the power outage that we experienced. But it's hard to answer that question in a sense. When I give an example of my own, my compound, for example, was out of power all night. And when I left this morning at 8:15 to come to work, the power was still out. The generator was on. That's how I know that the power was basically still out at my house, at my compound when I left. And I've been speaking to people in Nairobi where in certain places I'm told that, yes, power has been restored, but in other areas, not yet. I've also spoken to my colleague who's based in Mombasa, who indicated that even after, power had been said that it's been restored, they technically didn't get power until around noon today. So that's basically what's been happening in certain areas here and there. But what a day. I think the Kenyans have been living through this, the third one since August. So it's concerning for sure.
I can only imagine what it was like when the outage hit Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. This happened again.
Indeed, I think local media images on local media and on social media actually show pretty unsettling kind of videos of just being at an international airport, a major international airport like Jomo Kenyatta Airport, and without having power. I don't think I've actually experienced that in my whole life. In fact, I am supposed to travel through Jomo Kenyatta Airport on Thursday on a 15-hour flight going to the United States. So I really, really, really hope that what happened yesterday, it won't be the case basically when I'm traveling with my family. But it was unsettling because you have the cabinet secretary, actually energy secretary, Davis Churcher, who experienced the blackout firsthand. He said at a presser this morning that he happened to be coming back from a trip from Dubai, and they were not able to get their luggage while they were waiting because there was no electricity. Basically, the belt wasn't working. So here you are. Here you see that a cabinet secretary basically experiencing the blackout firsthand. That was certainly very, very interesting to hear him talking about it.
How is the government responding to calls for compensation, especially for residents who have lost electricity over time? I mean, food must have spoiled, so many things that must have been lost in the period when the blackout happened. What is the government's reaction to this?
Well, I haven't heard much about what the government plans to do in that regard. I had basically one of our workers in here, one of our reporters, I should say, from the Somali service, Hadar Hared, who went out this afternoon to interview some people. And some of the people he spoke to include a butcher who basically was very worried about his meat, basically what he uses for his business to get spoiled during this blackout. Another person that he interviewed was a businessman who basically decided that he had to hire extra help in a sense that this time he was worried that his business, his shop, might be broken into because he didn't have, his alarm wouldn't work because there was no electricity. So he hired 2 extra people to watch his shop during this blackout. So I think businessmen like those 2 and others, how they've experienced this blackout, and even us, just the ordinary citizen. I haven't been back home today, but hopefully my fridge was shut all night and all day, and maybe that keeps some of the food from basically keeps the cold on, but it depends on how long that can go. So I haven't really heard what the government plans to do towards that, but I'm sure hopefully there's talk, at least for people who have lost much more, because of the blackout.
But Kenya Power and Transport Minister had promised that there will not be power failure at all at the airport after that incident in August. So what caused this one that happened again after that promise was made?
Well, I think they don't really know from the reactions we've seen, and I'll start with the presser from the Energy Secretary, Mr. Churcher, who basically admitted that they really did not know what the real problem was. And I'm going to actually quote him because during the presser, he said that the question they were asking themselves was why so frequently? It is a challenge, he said, that we are ashamed of during his presser and as a country, and he said that they must address it. And I think another one, after visiting the airport, the transport minister, basically Kipchumba Murkomen, he went a little bit too far. He went a little bit further by saying that they're actually they're just launching a formal request to the National Police because they feel like, and I'm just looking at his quote to make sure that I get it right. He said that they want the police to investigate a possible act of sabotage or a cover-up. So I think every one of them, all the government officials that are involved, all the sectors that are involved are working hard to figure out what the problem is, where is it coming from, how do you solve it so that it doesn't happen again, since they had promised back in August that they will try, to avoid something like that. But I think the other big problem that they need to look into, at least in when you talk about airports, ports, health centers, and things like that, at least for the airport, is that when there is a power blackout, the generators are supposed to pick up. That's how, in my compound, when the power goes out, I usually count 1-2 seconds. At the maximum time, the generator will pick up. I also have to say that, just to be fair, that sometimes, like in this case, when the power went out yesterday, I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds later, a little bit longer before the generator picked up. But that's just one compound. When it comes to the airport, I think that's another issue that they have to deal with because the generators were either faulty or they just didn't work at that time.
All right. Thank you very much, Mariama Diallo from VOA's Nairobi Bureau Chief. Thanks a lot for your time on Network Africa. Please stay safe, and I hope this doesn't happen again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Still to come on the program, women activists hold fundraiser and awareness campaign against gender-based violence. To bring you the details of this and more, please stay with us. Welcome back. Globally, 1 in 3 women have been subjected to physical or sexual intimate partner violence, non-partner violence, or both at least once in their lives, and that's according to data. Our correspondent Kelly Agiga has more.
The residence of the British Deputy High Commissioner, Lagos, is playing host to an array of women rights activists. While some pose with placards bearing different inscriptions, the cocktail provides an atmosphere for others to network with a clear message to end violence against women and girls. Organizers then switch gears as participants settle for some remarks.
1 in 3 women will experience abuse in their lifetime. Many of those will experience that abuse from a partner or a family member. And none of that is new to any of us, but it still carries on. And that's why I think we need to carry on talking about it.
For 33 years, we've been speaking against a silent pandemic. My call to action today is the importance of investing your time, your money, your effort in addressing this. It can be prevented, and that's what we want, to be able to prevent it and to address it legally where possible, because sometimes families do not report these incidences. So I'm asking all of you, please, that when you leave here today, to act on it, to not forget that the 16 days is over, but to make it a daily part of your life.
Done with the speeches, participants are treated to a movie, Chat Room, which tells the story of the power of one's voice to transform society, gender-based violence, mental health, among others.
I am not going to let anybody tarnish my image. Mommy, who is church? Whose society are they perfect?
Shoe? I don't shoe Gary, I don't drink Gary, I don't swim put. Sometimes the water Gary they fall for my ear, you won't keep me with Gary.
I will not let anybody, you see, not Kojo, not Shozi, not anybody in that house take advantage of me. It won't happen.
For us, Chatroom is not just a movie. It's a movement. And one thing I'd like us all to leave this place with is, let us be intentional to ensure that as we leave this place, let our homes, our offices become chat rooms.
I believe everyone is going to leave here not the same, because we're all going to take a different message from the chat room. I've taken several messages, and I hope to take those messages right to the grassroots. I'm very interested in seeing how we can, show this across board.
More than 4 in 5 women and girls live in countries without robust legal protection, a concern re-echoed by the founder of the Mirabel Center.
The entire legal system should actually be survivor friendly, starting from the point of reporting at the police station to investigating the case. Because we get instances where the police will say, oh, go, when you see the survivor, come and call us. So the survivor becomes an investigator, investigating the cases and making the reports to the police.
The United Nations annual 16 Days of Activism is geared against gender-based violence, and organizers of this fundraiser and awareness campaign agree that efforts invested in preventing violence against women and girls is a huge step towards a safer, more equal, and a prosperous world.
And finally, on Network Africa, and still in Nigeria, winners have emerged in the first series of Channels Television social enterprise reality TV show Fund It Forward. Our correspondent Dari Dou reports.
It's a journey that kicked off with 12 change agents, as they're called. They kept their eyes on developing a business model that is scalable, impactful, and sustainable.
I want to create value for my customers or deliver this.
Week in, week out, the agents go through the rigorous learning processes, get to pitch their big ideas, and with the help of different coaches drawn from various fields, their ideas are polished.
High-collar sustainability solutions journey all the way to Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State.
The show follows the real-world stages of building an impact-driven business. Competition comes with the territory, and only 3 agents made it to the final.
It's the final and decision day for Channel Social Enterprise Program Fund It Forward. It's been an intense couple of weeks with a lot of learning and a special experience, a life-changing experiences for all the agents who are now better equipped for the future. Today there will be a winner. 1 out of the 3 finalists will emerge the winner of the show.
Business leaders, founders, CEOs, and top company executives are here to be part of the epoch-making event.
We've been blessed to have some remarkable contestants, or as we call them, change agents, here with us. All of them took a leap of faith, and they came with us on this new ride, and I sincerely hope it's on to bigger and better for them. We want to support them beyond the show, and I hope that once you hear more about them, you'll want to support them as well. Now, our top three, Dels, Valentine, and Tara, when they come, I want to wish them a great finale. I know that it's been a joy for me watching them grow in knowledge and prowess throughout the competition.
For the chairman and CEO of Channels Media Group, Dr. John Momo, it's been a worthwhile journey on the show, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate a special night.
It's my absolute pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you at this splendid soiree. And as we gather here tonight, surrounded by the enchanting ambience and the company of distinguished guests, let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty of coming together, to celebrate, connect, and create unforgettable moments. Whether you're here to meet new faces, catch up with old friends, or enjoy the evening's offerings, we are very thrilled to have you with us. Every one of you is special to the Channels family. Let this night be a testament to the joys, as Zemi said, of camaraderie, the elegance of gathering, and the endless possibilities that arise when great minds and warm hearts share the same space. Thank you, and indeed, thank you very much for being here, for bringing your unique energy to this gathering, and for being an integral part of what promises to be a truly remarkable evening, filled with joy, with laughter, and with memorable moments.
And there were more words of encouragement supporting social entrepreneurship in the country.
The reality is that for a country like Nigeria, for us to truly move forward, we need a ton of social entrepreneurs. And what you've created here today as a platform to mainstream and normalize the fact that you can be a social entrepreneur and still be a good person for society.
From food production, agribusiness to sustainable energy solutions, the three finalists make their final pitches.
Just knowing something I'm going to do is going to benefit more than myself, it's a win for me already.
We have 65% of the world's arable land, all the land in the world, but today we can barely feed ourselves.
We've processed 14,429 tons of cassava in our local method, using our no waste policy. I think we deserve some carbon credit on that. Yes.
And it's time for the biggest moment of the show. Winner of the first season of the series is announced.
The grand winner of the ultimate 30 million Naira grand prize for season 1 of Fund It Forward is Batch and Wine Limited. Congratulations. AKA the Abacha Man.
Congratulations, Valentine Opoli, the founder of Batch and Wine. He is the winner of season 1, Fund It Forward. And you can see an
I feel grateful. In fact, right now I feel powerful. I think that's the summary of it. But it's not by just physical strength. Grace of God. I learned, I unlearned, and now it's time to put in the work.
It's been a long 2 months. Just always thinking it will be you that week. Being that I've been called almost every week. But then I'm also grateful for that because it pushed me to do more.
I think Fund It Forward should become something that the Nigerian government does, because I don't know how to explain it. Like most people are doing tech ideas that you make money for yourself,
But through platforms like Fund It Forward, you're actually thinking about people. You have to think clearly about your social impact, and it's such a different way to think about building a business. And I'm just very grateful to have come this far in the competition.
Fund It Forward is a one-of-a-kind social enterprise-focused reality TV show by Channels Media Group, where young business leaders are expected to benefit not only from the funding, but also the invaluable guidance from industry experts. Dari Ido, Channels Television News.
So congratulations to the winners and contestants. And that's it on Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Mwaudu.